What's up, guys? How's it going? Hope you're all doing well. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe. And in this video, I just want to give my quick post-fight thoughts on Bilal Fawaz's majority decision victory over Ishmael Davis. I thought, obviously, that Bilal Fawaz did win this fight. I thought the judges had it closer than I had it. I thought Fawaz was a pretty convincing winner in this fight. I thought the first round was pretty close. Davis did get off to probably a faster start, you could say, than Fawaz. He was sort of winning or nicking the first 3-4 rounds, behind his jab and on the back foot. He was switching between orthodox and southpaw, and I thought early on maybe sort of the switch hitting and the southpaw stance of Davis was giving Fawaz a little bit of issues, sort of taking away Fawaz's jab a little bit when Davis was in that southpaw stance. However, I could see what Fawaz was doing as he was, coming in with that high guard. He was pushing Davis back and he was making Davis work hard, even though Davis was sort of nicking majority of those first 4 rounds or so. He was having to work much harder out of the two. He was getting pushed back. He was getting hit with a lot of body jabs and a lot of straight right hands to the body. And he was on the back foot having to work a lot harder. You could already see by the 5th or 6th round, he was breathing very heavily. Whereas Fawaz, in my opinion, was completely controlling the pace of the fight. Even though he maybe wasn't winning most of the early rounds, he was in control of the fight and he was being the aggressor. He was pushing Davis back. The commentators were saying that Davis looked more physical out of the two. Meanwhile, he was on the back foot. Even though he was sort of landing a little bit more shots in the first 4 rounds, nobody's just voluntarily on the back foot when they're landing punches. He was on the back foot getting pushed back. Fawaz was pressing him, and you could tell that Davis was tiring as we got into the second half of the fight. So good performance, I thought, from Fawaz. Davis, like I said, probably won. I saw the commentators kind of had him up 4-0 or something. I agree more with Carl Frampton scorecard, where it was the 8-4 scorecard to Bilal Fawaz. I think I had it about 8-4, possibly even 9-3 for Fawaz. The first round was a close round that probably could have went either way. I thought Davis definitely took the second round. I thought the third round was once again quite a close round. Probably you could give it to Davis, and then obviously 4th round, I thought Davis won. And then from then on, Fawaz pretty much took control of the fight. And really towards the back end of the fight in the last 4 rounds, Fawaz was kind of just playing with his food in there. He was a lot fitter. He was a lot stronger. I don't know if he hits a lot harder than these guys expect, but I mean, even when he's not sort of loading up on his shots, he's sort of hitting you with arm punches, but they're quite sort of stiff shots because, his opponents are, not showing much sign of aggression towards him. They're on the back foot, especially Ishmael Davis in this fight. He was on the back foot. Even when, he was clearly down on the scorecards, in my opinion, and should have been, leaving it all out there, trying to possibly retain his titles. He was still, showing no sign of aggression really in those, back 2-3 rounds when I thought he should have been going for broke there. But it could have just been due to the fact that he was completely out of gas. But yeah, I thought a good performance from Bilal Fawaz. I possibly thought, and I thought this from early on in the fight, from about the 4th round already, I was thinking that Fawaz could possibly stop Ishmael Davis in this fight. And I know, that maybe even the commentators would think that's a crazy statement, but they weren't really watching the same fight as me. But, they had it a very one-sided fight towards Ishmael Davis, well into, the second half of the fight, which was quite bizarre to me. But like I said, I thought Fawaz possibly could have stopped Davis in this fight, and I thought it from early on in the fight. But really, once we got into the late stages of the fight, he was, like I said, he was playing with his food. He was really on another level in terms of fitness and even in terms of boxing ability. He was making him miss. He had his hands down. He was countering him. He was running numbers on him. Yeah, it was really one-sided towards the end of the fight, and I really thought Fawaz possibly could have or I thought he should have stopped Davis in this fight, but he was playing around a little bit too much for my liking with Davis there. I think he should have stopped him because, I mean, he almost got robbed on the cards. So he was playing with his food and it almost came back to bite him there. But yeah, from early on in the fight, like I said, I could see Fawaz could possibly stop Ishmael Davis in this fight. And I thought he should have just pressed him even more. But yeah, he pressed him early in the fight, made him work really hard. He was going to the body, fairly often with that jab and straight right hand. Did a lot of showboating. I understand he was trying to frustrate Davis or get in his head to try and make Davis get a little bit aggressive, or trying to sort of walk Davis onto a shot. So I see what he was doing there, but I also see that he probably could have just ran Davis over. He probably could have just ran him over and put that high guard up and walked to him and just put it on him, because Davis, his power didn't really seem to have any effect on Fawaz in this fight. I thought Fawaz was the bigger puncher out of the two. I thought he was the physically stronger, and he definitely was the fitter out of the two. So I think he could have stopped Davis in this fight. He played with his food a little bit too much for my liking. And I think if there was a rematch here, Fawaz could stop Davis if he wanted to. But that's how I saw the fight, guys. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section below. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.